Welcome to another G-Dubs vlog. I've just spent the last 16 days traveling all around Sri Lanka, and I've got 10 essential tips that are going to stand you in good stead when you're here. I'm not some absolute fresh pup who's like, stick around to the end for the best one. We're going to go for the best one first. So if you do find it useful, bang me a subscribe down below. And I've got 4 other vlogs in terms of day vlogs around Ella, Sigiriya, down on the south coast. So check those out on the channel. Without further ado, baby, let's get cooking straight to number 1. The most essential bit of advice I'm going to give you is that you need cash. 99.9% of all the places here, that's all that they take. That includes anything on booking.com. So we booked obviously every single stay through booking.com thinking, oh, we'll pay that and then we'll just use cash for food, drinks, trips, etc. That's not the case. What it'll say is, yeah, this is how much you pay in dollars or pounds or whatever, and then when you get to your place, your homestay, whatever where it is you're staying, you'll have to pay in cash. So yeah, bear that in mind. And even with the cash front, we saw a lot of stuff online where it says, oh, you can take dollars, pay with dollars. We've got loads of dollars out. No one really takes dollars. We paid for like one of our homestays in dollars, but we had to pay a bit more for it to take those. And then also we did like a few big taxi journeys where we did a few different taxis between places and added up, and we could just pay someone like a big note. But yeah, other than that, you need cash everywhere. Local currency is the key. You need to get rupees. There's been the 2 places that did take card was a restaurant on the beach in Hirakatia, and also when you go to like the local like supermarket in the centre of Dickwalla. But anything outside of that, Sigiriya, Willapatu, etc, 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 there is no one that will be taking your card. So get cash and get back to the gold ages, baby. Tip number 2 is getting up early. Normally on holiday we're boozing till the early hours and you get up whatever time you wake. If you want to be getting flare photos, flare JPEGs, flare videos, or if you just want to be in a certain spot and feel a little bit more comfortable, a little bit safer, and enjoy it, whether it's a viewpoint or wherever it is you need to go, you need to be up early. We've done a lot of like sunrise activities with the surfing and the sunrise hike, obviously up in Ella, obviously both on the channel down below, but obviously say iconic things that people come to Sri Lanka for, like Nine Arches Bridge. We were there at 7:30 a.m. First train came through. Insane views. I think there's like 1 person in our photos and stuff like so like super beautiful, super calming environment. You go 45 minutes later and you couldn't swing a cat round on that bridge. It's absolutely rammed. So that's at 8:39 a.m. and then if you go even later at lunchtime, search Nine Arches Bridge at lunchtime. Honestly, horrible viewing. So yeah, get yourself up early, enjoy it, and to be fair, the sunset's really early here anyway, and I'd say there's not loads going on in the evening, so it is a bit more of a go to bed early, get up early sort of vibe. But yeah, if you want the flare pics, if you want to enjoy it, get yourself up nice and early. Tip number 3, the Wi-Fi here is absolutely horrible. They've basically got hamsters running around on wheels. You're not getting much connectivity. There are times where I enjoy that, so you can go and then enjoy your day, your viewpoint, be lost in the moment. But there are times when, if you want to connect with family members back home, or I'm trying to upload some YouTube videos and stuff, but it's just not possible. Like you can get Wi-Fi here and there. It's super sporadic. It's not good speeds. Me and Em paid for like an eSIM. It's about £16. Something around that roughly, for like 10 gig of data, which has kind of lasted us the whole time we're here, to be fair. But if you're trying to do anything work-wise or upload stuff to YouTube or anything that uses a lot of internet and bandwidth, it's just not going to be possible. So I'd bear that in mind. I would definitely advise getting an eSIM, even if you just use it for like essential times to just check in with people back home if you're traveling on your own or stuff like that, or if you're trying to use Google Maps, etc. Most places have Wi-Fi, but it's very sporadic. If it's good, if it works, sometimes it'll show you're connected, but nothing's loading. So yeah, make sure you bear that in mind. I would heavily advise getting an eSIM. Tip number 4, this is probably more aligned with people who are actually traveling than on holiday, but there's a million laundry shops. So if you are here and you wanted to get all your stuff sorted, we've like washed our different obviously elements of clothes about 3 times. It is the exact same price every single place. It is 600 rupees for a kilogram of clothing. Some tips: make sure you confirm a time when to pick it up, because do you know what I mean, if you think, oh, I'm traveling to a new place and you've not confirmed the time, sometimes they're like, oh yeah, 24 hours ish, but lock that time in, tell them you're leaving, and just make sure that is all sort of watertight. And the other thing as well is that whatever you put in is going in the same wash, so it's not like oh, I've got some white clothing, it's going in a white wash. Basically, they say, right, this is yours, that goes in a wash, it all gets dried together and pressed and ironed and back to you together. So yeah, some of my white t-shirts have been absolutely crucified. But yeah, they all came back, all banging. Would heavily recommend that, especially if you are traveling. Tip number 5, the food here is phenomenal. I have a severe nut allergy, so especially when I go to a lot of places in Asia usually, it's pretty difficult to avoid, yeah, obviously the nuts. I'm using absolute disarray, not just peanuts, obviously all nuts. But yeah, here, one, the food is a very, very good standard, super local ingredients. A lot of times you'll be in places and you think there's no one in here, why is it taking so long? The reason is they're cooking it from scratch. So yeah, the food's been really, really good. If you wanted one standout performer, it's gonna have to be Hiriketia Beach and the team over at Malu. Unbelievable service, unbelievable food. But yeah, the food that we got deep in the jungle in Willapatu on the safari, again, ridiculous. And then if you're gonna get a dessert, there is only one thing you can get. It's called curd with honey. And I would just be absolutely drenching the back axle off it in honey. It is so, so good. And yeah, nice little sweet treat. So would definitely recommend that. Tip number 6, and actually leading into tip number 7, is that everyone in Sri Lanka is on their grind. Everyone is trying to, do you know what I mean, get you into their restaurant, come and drink in their bar, stay at their hotel, or even like sell things on the beach, etc. But it's one of those places where there is the first, do you want to come into this restaurant, or I'm trying to sell this. And you know, sometimes when you're in certain countries, you're just getting absolutely peppered. People won't leave you alone. You feel there's a lot of pressure on you to buy something. That's not the case here. A lot of the time, TucTuc will be like, oh, you're looking for a ride? No, then that's it. It's kind of done, which I think is a nice way to do it. And yeah, so it's kind of a lot more friendly. And then kind of linking into that kind of point 7 is the safety element as well. Obviously, me and Em traveling together, and obviously 6'3" Greek god, if the Greek gods had absolutely tiny calves. So I always think, I don't know, would I be targeted? Maybe I will. Maybe I'll live to regret these moments. But I think overall, from the places we've been, the people we've engaged with, it is a very safe place. I would probably say you feel safe as a solo traveller. But yeah, again, they're the kind of key things. Everyone is on their grind. But yeah, I think as a whole, very, very safe place. Even at night, I would say as well. But always be cautious, always be careful, because you never know what's around the corner, baby. Tip number 8 is make sure you confirm a price and the currency before you do anything. I'd say this is mainly around tuk-tuks. Before you don't just get in one and say, oh, I want to go here, because when you get there, if somebody says, oh, it's quadruple what you said before, it's going to be pretty hard to argue against that. And then the other thing, I mean, we've not really had too many bad experiences. There was one when we did the surfing lesson where we confirmed the price, and then when we got to pay after the end of the surfing lesson, the guy was like, oh no, that's the price. That was the price each, which wasn't what you messaged, but at the end of the day, I'm not going to argue with someone over £6 or £8, whatever it was. So yeah, confirm the prices before. I definitely say the main thing to do that with is the tuk-tuks, from some of the feedback we've had from a lot of people that kind of we've met. So yeah, confirm the price, lock it in, and then you won't have your pants pulled down. Sometimes good, in this case, not very good. Cheers now. Tip number 9, and the penultimate one on this video, is that there are an absolute shed load of dogs in Sri Lanka. Some just wild dogs, some that are just part of somebody's house and restaurant and bar, which kind of just patrol up and down and kind of follow you to make sure you're not kind of going into anyone's property and that sort of stuff. You just need confidence around them, is the kind of key, and they'll kind of leave you alone. When we did the sunrise hike, me and them were the first people up there. It was absolutely pitch black in Ella, and there were 2 dogs at the top, came flying at us. As soon as you walk forward and just have a bit of confidence, they just calm down and stuff like that. The people that kind of step back and run and whatever, they're the ones where you think, oh shit, are they going to be okay and stuff. So yeah, that's kind of what I would advise on the dog front. Have some confidence, don't step back, and you'll be absolutely fine. The final tip on this vlog, and maybe the most important, if you stuck around to the end, cheers for doing that. Whack a like, and obviously don't forget to subscribe. But yeah, the accommodation here is super, super affordable. If you want to make it insanely cheap, you can stay in a hostel for like $3, $4, $5 a night, and share a room. Obviously, that's kind of not the traveling that me and Emma are on, and I wouldn't even do that if I was on my own. But I would advise staying in homestays. We've stayed in them pretty much every single place we've been to, and a lot of them are, you get your breakfast included. So we've been paying about between 20 and 24 pounds a night, air conditioned room. You're staying in like, usually it's like a family run place where they have between 2 and 5 rooms, something like that. So kind of real personal approach. And 3 out of the 4 had breakfast included for us. And the breakfasts here are an absolute joke. It's not like, oh, a couple pieces of toast, anything like that. They are huge. We're talking like pancakes. We're talking these little like crepes with like sugar and cinnamon in. There's all sorts of goodies in there. They give you like jam. There's massive fruit platters, pressed juice, all that sort of stuff. So the fact that if you go out for like breakfast in a lot of places, you might be spending £5-6 anyway. Obviously it's like anyway, you can do it as cheap or as expensive as you want, but for the amount of food you get, I would 100% advise that. And specifically in Sigiriya, where we stayed, and if you want the tips on that, just drop me a message in the comment. The guy, Lakmal, was so friendly, insane English. He upsold everything on us, so we ended up going there one night for dinner. He sorted us out a sunset tour, sunrise tour, and also the elephant tour as well. So you're going to get real good local insight. You're going to get insane food. That's one of the best places we had for the curd and honey. So yeah, I would definitely advise doing that. If you're traveling as a pair, or as a couple, whatever, that is the place where you're going to save the most money. And if you're not, then again, try and make some pals and fire up in a homestay, because that, yeah, it's the absolute winner for me. And that is it. The 10 most essential bits of information and knowledge that I can transfer over to you guys. And yeah, obviously a short video. If you have found any use, any knowledge, anything that's gonna help you in your journey, please do drop me a like and drop me a subscription. En route to 1K subs, and that is the goal for 2024. If there's anything that I've kind of not covered, obviously drop me a message in the comments. I respond to every single comment down there, super active. And yeah, hopefully can help you on your journey. I've got 4 other videos on Sri Lanka which will be live now on the channel, from safaris to sunset hiking to down on the south coast as well. So if you want a little bit of inspiration sprinkled alongside, yeah, these words of wisdom, yeah, check those out on the channel. As I mentioned, route to 1K subs is the goal for 2024. Help your boy out, and remember, baby, the chef is always cooking.